Hi and welcome to Krille's Garage. Today I'm gonna show you how I changed the brake fluid on my 2008 Peugeot 407 2.0 turbo diesel. And to do this, I'm gonna not do it like last time. I had to take down that video actually. But the last time I did it with this device here that used pressure from a compressor and then the Venturi effect to suck out from each of the brake nipples. So this is suction. And somehow air got into the system. So I don't want that to happen, because then you need to do everything over again. So I upgraded my equipment to this Motive power bleeder. And it works by, you fill this up with brake fluid, then connect. This is a EU connection, and I made sure that it works with my car. It works with many EU cars. So the thing is, you fill this with brake fluid, and then you add pressure on the container up to 15 psi. You shouldn't exceed that. And then a brake fluid will come from this container and replace the brake fluid I'm taking out at the brake nipple. So it's very convenient, and you will always have enough brake fluid in your reservoir. So there is no way, if this power bleeder doesn't go empty, you can't add some air into the system. And that's the genius thing about this power bleeder. And it's not expensive either. I think it's, I paid 750 included taxes and shipping. But you have to order it from USA. It's US patented and US made. So on eBay I will put a link below in the description where you can buy it cheap. And it's really recommended to choose this option instead of sucking the air out, or even using the brake pedal. You might be lucky most of the times, as me, but someday you might get air in the system, and that is not fun. So the other things you need also, you need a turkey baster. This is in glass, and I added some hoses here. And this is for taking out brake fluid from the master cylinder. The brake reservoir, I mean, not the master cylinder. You never want to mess with that, but from the brake reservoir. And you empty it and refill it. That's the first thing you do. And also when you bleed at the nipple, you need some kind of container with a hose on it, so that you don't spill this brake fluid everywhere. And I marked 1 deciliter per mark here, so this is max 5 deciliters. And I'm gonna, there was no information how much I should take out with each wheel, but I'm gonna do 3 deciliter each front and 4 deciliter each back. And then I'm 100% certain that every old brake fluid is out. And brake fluid is so cheap, so there is no reason why you shouldn't do it properly. And I bought these two. That's what I'm gonna fill the container with. And it cost me 135 Norwegian kroner. That's 13 pounds. Nothing really. So the first time I'm gonna use this Motive, because this costs 2,000 Norwegian kroner in if you're doing it at a workshop, at a repair shop. But now I bought the equipment, and the second time I'm gonna use it, it's only gonna cost me 135 kroner, only the price of the brake fluid, and then some work, of course. And because this is so small, this container, I also need a bigger, just a bottle to fill up with old brake fluid and a funnel. And if you have this, you are all set to change brake fluid on your car. Yeah, let's start. First thing I'm gonna do is to, there is actually a filter here that I need to remove. See how I get this out. Take out the filter. And then use the turkey baster to remove all that you can here. I spilled a little bit, but it wasn't so critical. You don't want to spill the brake fluid. I should have put in some paper around it. Yeah, and I'm done. And then I can put on the filter, and now I'm gonna pour new brake fluid in. And now I'm gonna top up with brake fluid and place some paper around the container, because this can get messy. Now the system is topped off, and I also cleaned up the mess I did. So now it's time to connect the Motive power bleeder and pressure test it to see if it holds pressure. I brought the Motive power bleeder. Gonna screw it on here. There, it's tight and good. I also fixed this joint here because I needed to put some Teflon tape and then tight it good. And now there should be 15 psi. See if the system holds pressure. Now you can see it's 10 psi here. And I will wait a couple of minutes and then come back and see if the pressure still holds. As you can see here, yeah, the pressure has dropped just a tiny here perhaps, but nothing special, so I think this is pretty good. And if I ever spill some brake fluid down here, I'll just pour a bucket of water down on the engine to remove it. And the next thing is to fill the Motive power bleeder with some brake fluid. And here you can see the power bleeder. It's filled up to around here with 2 liters of the remaining of the 2 liters I had. And there is also some air in the hose, but that's nothing dangerous because they will only come that will fill up perhaps a little bit of the brake reservoir, but I topped it really high and this will not cause any issue. There will always be brake fluid below pressing on the system. and there will only come brake fluid from the power bleeder. There was just some air in the hose, that's all. And as you can see, there's, or I could see no leakage from the system and from the power bleeder adapter, and that's good. And the direction you need to bleed is first left front, right front, left rear, and right rear. And I verified this with my Peugeot program that I have on my computer. I'm just gonna zip these bolts out, and then I'm gonna loosen the brake nipple. Collected a little bit more than 4 deciliters. I'm gonna pour it into the funnel here. I did take out 4 deciliters on this side also, and now I'm gonna take the the left rear. I did something wrong about the front tires. I really wanted to take 3 deciliter out, so I need to add some extra. This is also .4 brake fluid, so it's sealed. It's important that the brake fluid is sealed, as you can see, and it's not, when it's sealed you can use it. If it's an old brake fluid that's been opened for a long time ago, you wouldn't use it. The brake nipple in the rear is 11, so it's bigger in the rear than in the front. And this one looks rusty, so I'm not gonna take any chances with it, so I'm gonna use a socket and a wrench. Here in the rear it's going pretty slow, but I placed the line up. The rate of brake fluid coming out is so slow that it doesn't suck down with it all the bubbles. So if you can see here, the bubble. So that's what I did to prevent bubbles to go back. I did take out 4 deciliters in the back. It was a quite slow process. I'm not so very convinced about that. I added the pressure to 15 psi because that's the max you can go. And I opened the bleeder screw a little bit too far perhaps. But yeah, I guess it will be okay. A couple of days have passed now, and I tried my car 2 times. And the last one was for 1 hour, and the brakes are really good. They are firm and stiff and responsive. Everything is as it should be. So this time I was lucky, and it was only last time when I made a video my friend got some air in the system. But Motive brake bleeder should be quite foolproof. I don't know how the air got in the system with the suction method, but maybe only guessing that the reservoir got empty somehow and we didn't pay attention, but we did that. We refilled the reservoir every 1 deciliter, so I have no idea. But the Motive worked well. I drained a little bit out of the system when I was done because there was too much brake fluid actually in the reservoir. So I took something out of it, some fluid. But I would rate this product 5 out of 5. It's awesome to have a proper system, and I hope it's gonna last me a long time, because I'm gonna do it this way in the future. And I read the manual afterwards. Actually, I watched some YouTube videos before. I got an idea of what I could do. And it was 15 psi they said, but the manual says 20 psi is maximum. Unless it's stated that you can have higher pressure on your system. So I maxed 15 psi and no issues there. But it was too slow out of the rear end. That's just because of the pressure of the car. It's nothing about the Motive product, it's awesome. And it's the way they do it at the workshop, I think. So it was nothing about the product, but you can help a little bit by pushing on the brake pedal, and my mother did that, and then it went much faster. So that's an option if it's too slow in the rear. In the front, everything was going fast. But you want a fast flow to get all the air out of the system. You don't want it as slow as it was in my occasion. So using the brake pedal, have one operate the pressure, because you need the pressure to be good enough. So you pump it up from time to time, and also operate the bleeding process, and have one operating the pedals, and then you should be set if it's needed to operate the pedals. I don't see any issue it can cause. It's just beneficial. So it was money well spent. Really good device. And I hope you learn something if you are not used to this way of bleeding the brakes. So please subscribe, and there will be more to come. Thank you.